Let us talk about it, my friends. So today we had Bellular Gaming, who we love. We just saw one of his videos the other night. Great content creator, love him tons. He covers a lot of MMOs, and particularly loves to cover a World of Warcraft. Sean Ponce, welcome to stream. We love you, buddy. Hope you're having a great night. And so apparently, our lovely other wonderful creator that we like to watch a lot of, Asmongold, the Baldy himself, as the saying goes. Hey, look, it's his term, not mine. I would never call someone that unless they're calling it themselves. There's a video that we'll be watching in just a moment called "The War Within is Dead." Now that is the upcoming new expansion, and I did see the thumbnail a couple of days ago.
Ready to work.
Yep, ready to work, indeed.
Work.
Oh my god. Oh my god. That was an amazing blurb, Aker. Thank you very much. But anyways, going back to it. Yeah, thanks. I hated it indeed. The wonderful Bellular responded to the War Within being dead, quote unquote, saying, "I don't like us being associated with that title. It's actively misleading. At this point, it's quite clear that what Asmongold's editors do with the titles just serves to line their pockets and spread bullshit. As in, often the titles don't even represent what Zach himself is saying. I find it hard to see the value this has to Zach, given their repetitional damage it has been causing over the years. That channel is earning $300 to $4,000 USD per month. So yeah, easy beans. Honestly, yes. I have not seen the video yet. We're about to watch together while Nightingale downloads. But usually when you see a title like The War Within is Dead on Asmongold's channel, it is completely clickbait. And it is unfortunate, but I think Bellular actually knows that this is the reality because he's been on YouTube for a very long time. I've only been on YouTube for a couple of months, and that is a lot of times the reality. Now, I try to not clickbait that hard. Like, I at least try to have it, like, you know, make some semblance of sense without super giga clickbaiting, so I hope you guys enjoy that. For example, I'll be labeling this video probably a question as, is the War Within dead? Because this is the question we'll be discussing. But this is what happens to a lot of large YouTube creators. And it is ironic because anytime I've seen a video from Asmongold where it's like something giga clickbaity like that, it's usually just him normally responding and his editors just going crazy with a clickbait title. That does not genuinely represent the actual meat and potatoes of the video. So, very understand Bellular's position, but let's find out what this video is about. Because, like I said, it's been entirely too long. It's been like 3 entire days since we had Blizzard on fire with some kind of drama. So,
apparently
let's check it out.
The new WoW expansion is dead. It hasn't even come out yet,
yeah,
but it's dead.
It's dead. Alrighty. It's just dead, guys. Pack it in. War Within is completely dead. Do not quote me on this. Do quote me on this. I don't know. How does it work? But it's already dead. Okay, so this guy is Bellular's buddy. They often do things. They do like a podcast together. I legitimately cannot remember his name, but he's like a much more serious tone, and he's like much more heavily into the hardcore gaming of World of Warcraft side. Whereas Bellular himself is much more casual, and I'm much more casual, so this will be more of a casual reference. I used to be hardcore, but much more casual reference on the War Within. And let's see let's see what they say.
Already? Oh, already.
Oh God! Wait! I missed it.
The new WoW
I missed it.
expansion is
Shit!
dead. It hasn't even come out yet.
Let's put the
but it's dead.
CCs on.
Are you
Yeah.
interested in finding out how they've ruined the War Within already?
Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God! Okay, so to be fair, it's not even just Asmon's editors doing this. Like, the guy said the War Within is legitimately dead. Like, I think he's talking about the drama of people thinking it is, but the guy said it. The guy said it. So it's not even just Asmongold's editors. They just kind of like ran with it looks like, but you know. It would be Blizzard style to ruin it before it comes out, though.
Here we go.
Here we go, man. Here we go.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
That's
one thing,
impressive.
They have continually said it's not class skins.
Yeah,
Now,
but
Class
I think they
skins.
had a
but-
problem where it felt like
Class
class
skins.
skins in some of their earliest.
Oh, they're talking about the hero specs. I think they're talking about hero specs. So yeah, they Blizzard made this announcement a few days, not a few days, a couple months ago, I think, a few weeks ago, where they were talking about the upcoming different like mini specs essentially that each class will have. So like warrior will have like Slayer. I'm a warrior main, so Slayer and Colossus and Mountain Thane, and I don't remember any of the other ones. And I think there was some like speculation that it was just gonna be like cosmetics, and everyone was, of course, incredibly disappointed because we want cool mechanics. We don't want just like a freaking skin. So I think that's what they're talking about. So I think that's where the context is here.
Marketing. But since then, I have noticed they've
Yeah.
continually said these are not class skins. These are ways to lean into a certain vibe with your class.
Right.
That's it. They have.
Yeah, Ponce makes a good point. We should want a particularly good game. I agree with you, but I think a good game comes from having good mechanics, and I think Dragonflight has done like a lot of good in the World of Warcraft community already. But I will say that if they don't continue to innovate, but also simplify at the same time, which sounds complicated, but I think we'll be able to talk about it as it goes on, as this video goes on. I think if they don't continue to do that, like, I don't see how it survives, because like with the awesome talent trees, which are really cool, really fun. Some complication definitely was added for certain specs, and it was kind of insane, the level of complication for certain things. Like the optimal DPS for warrior is like, what is it, like 15 different damage buttons or something, like all in a row. It's absolutely insane. And then like I of course am lazy, so I use the non-optimal one, but I don't do like mythic rating or anything. And that's uses like, it basically like cuts out like 3 active abilities and just puts like passives instead that, you know, have auto attack modifiers. I'm completely destroying my DPS, but it's like, whatever, man, kind of thing. I CBA can't be asked. But yeah, like the problem is that like all of these specs are super giga complicated. So that's where I'm saying that the simplification needs to come in as well. How goes the news? You're about to find out, my friend.
Specifically multiple times said it's not class skins.
Yeah, okay.
So it's that sort of weird thing.
I
where
sincerely hope
if
it's not
we
class
just
skins.
sort of go and say they're not class skins, everyone. I'm so angry about this. Blizzard be like, we didn't say they were class skins. We in fact, multiple times in multiple interviews, told you all that they're not class skins. Could you please stop judging them as if they're class skins?
Interesting. So wait, who brought up class skins then? Also, does it sound weird for anyone else? Like, it sounds like a little like echoey. I don't know if I pressed something that did that. What is this ambient mode? Is it ambient mode? What does ambient mode do? Maybe it's that.
So it's that weird thing of like, what do a
No.
lot of people want? Class skins. That's not what
It's
this
not
is.
that.
And
Yeah.
it's not trying to be that.
Yeah.
But the problem is they, you know,
How's it sound, guys? Does it sound good?
for some reason, right? It's a food analogy. It's like brown rice versus white rice. Listen, I know the brown rice has still got the germ in it and whatever it is, so it's technically healthier.
No, it's not.
But
Wait, yeah. Brown rice. By the way, anyone who doesn't know this, brown rice is not healthier for you. Rice is rice. Actually, brown rice is kind of just worse for you. Like, white rice is just fine. It's still carbs. Like, both are carbs, so, you know, don't overeat on either. But it is not that white rice is somehow worse for you than brown in some weird way.
Great.
Yeah, I actually heard that brown rice is actually not healthier than white rice.
Exactly.
And brown rice is harder to digest, and
Yes.
the whole idea that brown rice is more healthy than white
Why are we
rice
talking about this? But yes.
is complete bullshit, and it's not even
Correct.
true.
Correct.
And it's actually made me reconsider my entire Chipotle order.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, I mean that's one way to do it, but this is why like I worked in health research for over a decade, as you guys know, and I was an epidemiologist doing cancer research, and you know sometimes we did nutritional studies and stuff. Nutritional studies are inherently like always completely convoluted to the point that no one can tell anything. Like I think we've gone from milk being thought of as healthy to milk being thought of as not healthy to being healthy to being not healthy to being healthy again. I think we're like on like number 7 of the roller coaster here. Because like people always like a big problem is there's like a lot of lobbyists that like force and you know shill out money and so on to various researchers and research organizations to say certain things. This is how it works. It's very unfortunate. Huge lobbies do this all the time. I literally could not post research for a certain very unpopular at the time opinion regarding cannabis specifically. Yeah, this happens often. Yeah. It sucks.
Which is a big part of my day.
I can see you being pressured and being doctored by your parents.
I don't really know if I'm going to do that or not.
I was,
but,
a little bit.
Yeah, I think we're going to be moving over to white rice.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Big change. Big change.
Brown rice is next.
Fantastic. Well, I was always told brown rice was healthier. But
Yeah, I was
always
too.
thought,
I was too. I forgot who
You
it
were
was
lied
that
to.
told me it was fucking bullshit.
Completely
It was pretty
lied to.
recently.
Screw
Yeah.
that. What do I want? White rice.
Okay.
How do I want it? Sticky as fuck. In my gullet. Immediate blood sugar level.
Completely based Bellular opinion right there. Absolute truth. Like, dude, if you're gonna have something unhealthy, you might as well go all the way. Like, dude, I don't want it's like non-fat cookies. Who here has had like low sugar or non-fat cookies? They're the most disgusting things ever. Like, dude, give me like the full normal, like chewy, gooey chocolate chip, absolutely like really, you know, not great for you cookies, but give it to me straight, man. I don't want this like halfway bullshit. Also, a lot of like the artificial sweeteners that are in like low sugar things are genuinely worse for you than legitimate sugar. Like sugar is not good for you. Diabetes is really bad, but the artificial sweeteners are a lot of times straight up carcinogens sometimes, and you know they increase your blood pressure and all kinds of other stuff. There's a lot of other massive health issues for those things. So yeah, definitely sometimes it's best to have the normal, natural, unhealthy thing. Also,
Brown rice. It's overdone. It's not clumped together. I'm like,
yeah, brown
"Oh."
rice sucks.
So it's a bit like that with
Straight up.
Claskins.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
Joshua had asked, what are you guys talking about? Good question, actually.
Yeah, good question.
We
Let's
should
get back to the
we
real
should maybe
convo.
Make that more
Okay,
clear.
so hero spec.
Hero
Yeah.
specs.
They
Okay, so these are the hero specs. Let's look through them. We got Death Knights, Sand Lane. I think that's like blood, right? We got the Deathbringer. We got the Rider of the Oh my god. Holy crap. I've never seen this. I've only heard about the warrior ones because, you know, I'm a warrior main, so I like to look at the warrior stuff. Demon Hunter has Eldraki Reaver and Felskard, so they only get 2 because they're overpowered as fuck already. Druid as Keeper of the Grove, which is lame as hell. They have Elune's Chosen, which sounds lame as hell. Windstalker, Wildstalker, which seems pretty cool. Druid of the Claw. I mean, that's very thematic. Evoker, I don't really know it. Has anyone played Evoker? I've never played Evoker. Chrono Warden, that's like timey-wimey shit. Ruby Adept, which I think is fire. And Scale Commander. Scale Commander sounds pretty cool. Hunter as Sentinel. Okay. Dark Ranger sounds the best out of those. Pack Leader, I mean, that's obviously the Beast Mastery type of deal. Are these just like mini specs? Because these just sound like mini specs. Fire has Sun Fury, Frostfire, and Spellslinger. I mean, okay. I guess these are like Rapid Fire, maybe? I don't know. Monk, Master of Harmony, Shadow Pan, Conduit, the Slut. Guys, these are not made equally. Like, how is Rider of the Apocalypse just better than everything else? Templar sounds pretty okay. Herald of the Sun, yeah, I guess. I mean, is the Sun a paladin thing? Like, dude, Lightsmith sounds okay, I guess. Voidweaver sounds pretty cool. Oracle sounds boring as hell. Arkan sounds okay, I guess, thematically. Rogue as Deathstalker, that sounds cool. Trickster, less cool. I mean, I think they could go with like something better than Trickster here, with having like the Trickster theme. Fatebound, Fatebound sounds lame as all fuck. Shaman, Stormbringer. Stormbringer sounds pretty good. Farseer, lame. Totemic, absolutely lame. Warlock, Soul Harvester. Now we're talking. That sounds cool. Hellcaller, that also sounds cool. Diabolist, not really great. Warrior, Slayer. Slayer sounds pretty okay. It's a good start. I think they could go harder, like Slayer of Kings. Like I want something with like blood. Like I want something like literally they should get rid of one of these or add a fourth one and just call it like Blood Reaver or something like that. Like something that really goes into bleeds and bloods and like, you know, just mayhem and shit like that. Like that's what I really want out of this. Colossus is okay, I guess. Like, yeah, okay, you're a fucking tank. Go more into tank. Mountain Thane. Mountain Thane is okay, but like Mountain Thane would only be okay if they go like really heavy into like, you know. It also depends. Like I'm really worried that they're gonna make these completely fucking boring. You know, World of Warcraft's devs do a massive disservice sometimes, where they just make things incredibly boring. Like, oh yeah, 10% damage to one-handed weapons, and that's it. Congratulations. And that's like the lamest shit ever, man. Like I want crazy shit. Like there's an ability on Warrior right now where like your Thunderclap will apply bleeds all around you. Like that's cool. I want more of that. There's one where it like makes Heroic Leap into a much longer cooldown ability, but it's like a big bop of damage. That's cool. I want more of that. Like, I don't know if they're going to do this with the hero specs, but I really hope they do. So, if this discussion is about hero specs, like, seriously, 90% of the hero specs sound fucking lame. B, as in the names. And then B, a lot of the hero specs, like, I don't know if they're going to do enough with it. Like, I'm genuinely worried. I think they're going to go into some detail. I have not seen this tab here, but I need to check that out later.
He may... Oh, no, I feel... but that's just one of those things where it's like...
So this is the way it is, right?
Yeah.
And, like,
Let's see
these
what
are
they say.
basically, like, kind of subclasses. It's like, I would say, ascendancies in PoE, they're adding...
Oh, okay. So, yeah, it is like sub-specs. So, I played PoE, so I know what he's talking about. So, it's basically like mini specs for every spec. So, if you wanted to make your Fury Warrior a little bit more tanky, you'd probably go the Colossus mini spec kind of thing. I think that might be what it is. I think so, but we'll check that out later. Probably not tonight, but I did bring up the tab. Thank you, Aku. I appreciate that. Basically, FF. What is FF Warrior? I don't know what that means. And soon to be Pictomancer. Wait, what is that, Hamshay? I don't even know. Tell me.
this into WoW, where it's like each class spec
There we go,
can
Potato.
be
Hell
like
yeah.
2 of the 3. Astrologian, I wonder where they got that from.
Astrologian? What is that?
You know, you don't know that people are going to get that idea because they haven't got that idea because it hasn't happened yet. That sounds completely insane.
I mean, I can see why people thought that this was just cosmetic. Because some of these sound very cosmetic. Sun Fury sounds, you know, DPS-y, but it also sounds a little cosmetic. Herald of the Sun sounds very cosmetic. Like, it doesn't sound like there's any, like, actual actions there. Shadowpan sounds quite cosmetic. Master of Harmony sounds quite cosmetic. Conduit of the Celestials sounds lame as fuck, but also cosmetic. You know, Ruby Adept sounds cosmetic. I can see why.
That's
Oh,
actually
Astrologian
just me
is
talking about
F14. Got it.
causality.
I've not played
We're not
F14
violating
much.
causality. But, like, yeah. So they call them this, and I suppose for people who are like, oh yeah, Hellcaster, or Hellcaller.
I really want to be Templar. I really want to be.
Yeah, it's
Which one is it called
McConnell.
again?
Dude, Templar sounds so lame, man. Like, why don't they call it like, oh man, why don't they like, I think they need to like stop going halfway. I think they really need to lean into it. Like, instead of Herald of the Sun, they need to really like, they should, all of these sound very light, you know? Like, one of them should be like, oh god, what are the evil paladins called? The ones that are like, oh fuck, what is it called? With that faction, that's like the one, the ones that we had to fight. Help me out. The guys, what is it? With the quadruple dungeon at the beginning, that's like level 30s. Oh god, why am I blanking on this name? Why am I blanking on this name? It's OG Vanilla. So OG Vanilla Scarlet Monastery. Yeah, like why like straight up make it like one of the mini specs like Scarlet fucking Crusader. Like just full evil. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, Scarlet. Yeah, exactly. Like I don't want Herald of the Sun, man. I don't want to be a Templar. I want to be a Scarlet Crusader. Like, just go full evil. Just focus on, like, smiting. And nothing but, like, just sheer mayhem and damage. Do not care who gets in the way. You know? Like, I want them to really lean into it. And instead of Hunter being, like, just a fucking Sentinel. Sentinel sounds like you're just standing there, right? Like, I want, like, rain of arrows. Like, something that really just goes into, like, multi-shots. And just, like, blotting out the sky with arrows, man. Instead of, like, being a pack leader, I want it to be, like, Animal Massacre or some shit like that. Like, I don't know, I'm going a little too hard with the names, but you know what I'm saying? Like, guys, all of these are just halfway. Not all of these, but, like, 90% of them. Like, Soul Harvester sounds pretty good. Like, that sounds pretty darn good. Hellcaller sounds pretty good, but, like, not even Hellcaller. Hellwalker. Like, I want to be in hell. I want the fires and flames to walk from my warlock feet with that subspec thing, man. You know, like that's straight up what I want. Yeah, Hamshank, I'll check it out. Pictomancer is that's like the new job. Gotcha. I'll watch that later. Yeah, like I said, instead of Slayer, I want it to be like Blood Reaver. You know, that's like what they're going for slaying. They wanted, you know, slaying things, massive DPS, blades running everywhere. No, I want blood everywhere. I want a blood everywhere. Yeah, but the Potato, if they nerfed it, they should have nerfed it for all of them. Like, dude, Rider of the Apocalypse sounds insane, man. Like, Rider of the Apocalypse is the best name on this list, and it's not even close. Like, I almost want to make a Death Knight just because of Rider of the Apocalypse. Like, I think they should go, like, that's what I'm talking about, go full on into it. Harbinger of the Squirrel Cataclysm. Yeah, basically. Like, dude, if they made that for the Hunter, I'd play that. Like, yeah. Hunter, instead of, like, Dark Ranger is fine. Like, that one is very thematic, that's very historical, while also being cool as hell. Dark Rangers were really, really cool. It was a legitimate thing. But they were also dope as fuck. But Sentinel, lame as hell, man. Like, yeah. Harbinger of the Arrow Cataclysm. I don't know. That's really, you know, too much. But, you know, that's what I'm talking about. Instead of Conduit of the Celestials for the Monk. I don't know. Conduit of the Elemental Cataclysm. If they're really going for the elements, like, give me, like, something crazy. You know? Void Weaver is dope. Yes. Void Weaver is one of the more dope ones. Completely agreed. But, like, Oracle and Archon? Lame as all hell, man. Like, dude, how do they not have, like, an occultist? Like, Diabolus, maybe? But, like, I want to be, like, full occult level shit. For either Shadow Priest or Warlock. Shamans are, like, getting completely shafted here. Stormbringer is cool, but Farseer and Totemic? Totems are, first of all, one of the most lame shit ever. Yeah, Necromancer. Exactly. I want full, like, absolute necromantic hell-bringing shit. Yeah, like, for Shamans, Stormbringing is cool. Like, Like huh. What would be a good one for Shaman? Lava Eater. Just straight up like lean into the lava shit. Just the Lava Eater or something like or Lava Spewer. Just spewing out like just fucking lava. Yeah, like that's the kind of like vibes I want from these hero specs, man. Like all these hero specs are fucking lame. I'm sorry. Like they really, really are. The oncoming storm, that would be better than Stormbringer. Stormbringer is cool, but oncoming storm would be really cool. There you go, Darkshade. I completely agree. Pictomancer is so wild. I'll definitely check it out later. And the lovely Gold Buddy, thank you for the sub, my friend. Prime sub, 4 months. You're amazing. Thank you from the bottom of my heart, buddy. We're talking about the War Within's hero specs. Dude, Rogue is one of their specs is the Trickster? Like, really? Man, Deathstalker sounds pretty good, but man, I need more than just a Trickster. I need, like... Just give me, like, something called, like, the Shadow Murderer. Yeah, they need more Giga Edgelord. Yeah, no, they just need to be extra. Whatever they're doing, Darkshade, they just need it to be extra. You know? Like, Sun Fury sounds great. Crossfire is cool thematically, but it doesn't sound cool. They need to be, like, really into it. They, like, Spellslinger is okay, but, like, yeah, I mean, you're already a mage. You're already slinging spells. Like, it's just more of that. I want, like arcane blasting. Like, just straight up something that, like, Arcane Apocalypse. Doesn't Arcane Apocalypse just sound better than Spellslinger? Like, that's what they're going for here. It's like the Arcane spec, right? But, like, man, just Arcane Apocalypse is, like, crazy shit, man. Yeetus Magicus? Yeah, exactly. Spellslinger is terrible. Yeah, just call it Wizard Yeet at that point. They should get on with Magic Onslaught. Yeah, exactly. Like, Magic... See, I think we're all on the same page. Yeah, exactly. That is exactly what I'm saying. I don't know Evoker, so I can't really say that. But all of them sound kind of lame. Scale Commander, like, are you kidding me? Like, what the fuck? Get that shit out of here. Master of Harmony? What is this? What is this, like, chill weeaboo shit, man? I want, like, that's like the healing spec, right? What's a cool name for a healing spec? You can have cool names for healing specs. I think you need, like, for a healing spec, I think you need, like, oh, man. Like, something that goes really into it, like Lifebringer, or, like, shoot. I don't know. Like, it's harder to think of things for healing specs. But, like, Master of Harmony power... Yeah, Master of Harmony's... By the power of friendship, we can do anything. Yay! Yeah, no, I want something like... oh, yeah, the Arbiter of the Divine Gods. There we go. Yeah, that would be a really cool one for, like, Priest. Exactly. Arbiter of Holy Might. Or something like that. You know, like, something like that. The Last Requiem for Monk. Yeah, there we go. There we go. We can think of, like, cool healing spec names. All of these fucking suck. Like, honestly, wipe the slate clean with 90% of these and start from the beginning. This sounds, honestly, really disappointing and lame.
Rider of the Apocalypse.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's cool as shit.
Thank you, Bellular. Absolutely. This guy, what's does anyone know Bellular's friend's name here? He does, like, a lot of these podcasts with them. I just can't remember the fucking name. And Asmund, all of them agree. Dude, Rider of the Apocalypse is the best one. They're so smart. They agree with me.
Rider of the Apocalypse? Hell
Yeah.
yeah.
Do you guys think these are going to be cool, these hero specs? Because, like, I think they could be cool.
Yeah.
But my concern is that...
I think I know where he's going. I started saying this. Straight up, Blizzard doesn't have the balls to make them cool. That's it. I think Blizzard, A, lacks the balls, and also the game is too complicated already. So they'd have to make the specs really fucking cool, like I said. You know, like Colossus would be, you are in avatar mode all the time. I want it to be cool as shit. Like, game-breakingly cool. And while they do that, they also take away half the necessary abilities that you have to have like 50,000 buttons on your fucking hotbar already. So have the abilities and make those super cool ones even more cool. That's what I want. That is what we deserve for hero specs. Like they're going all in on hero specs for the new thing. That's what we need. Sun Fury is like, I feel like what they're gonna do with something like Sun Fury is they're just gonna have like a sun dot on every ability hit or some shit like that. Like fire damage will have like an extra cool flashy dot or whatever. And while that sounds like okay, it's still kind of lame. What I want Sun Fury to do is like, dude, straight up, you throw a pyroclasm, pyroclasm, I can't remember the name. You throw like your giant fucking fireball, pyroclasm, and you just drop a fucking like sun level meteor on them as well. Straight up. That's what I want. That's what Sun Fury should be. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, Sean, Sun Fury, the blessed specialization of the Windseeker. Yeah, the Sun Fury will throw, when you throw like a normal fireball, it shoots out a fucking fire sword at them. Straight up. It shoots out the Sun Fury fire. It's not a fire sword, but let's just pretend it's a fire sword. It just goes, well, Hamshank, dude, I maybe in a couple months, Hamshank. I have a lot of games on my list, but I will play it, and that would help me play it for sure. And Minkwa, I've been saying for ages, WoW classes are too wooden. Mages, you throw white and blue, fire red, or white gray spells at people. Yes, completely agreed. I completely agree, Minkwa. I completely agree. Like, one of the really cool things, I think they can learn from what they've done with WoW Classic Season Discovery. Season of Discovery actually adds some pretty cool things to all of these specs. Like, you have a healing mage using time magic. That's cool. Like, I want them to add that, like, spell slinging is like you rewind time and you shoot, like, more spells because you're rewinding time. That would be thematically really cool. You know? Yeah, like a Chrono Mage. Exactly. Well, they have that in Discovery now, but it's like a healing spec. But, like, they could go like that with these things, you know? I think Blizzard lacks the balls because they don't want to break the game. They're too focused on balance as well. Like, balance is cool, but frankly, dude, World of Warcraft has not been a balanced game since, like, Cataclysm. Straight up. Like, I think the most balanced the game has ever been was during honestly during Wrath of the Lich King. Like, if you play Wrath Classic right now, it's like quite a balanced game. Certain things are a little broken, you know. Fucking Death Knights are insane, for example. But, like, in general, the game is quite decently balanced. Anything can, like, explode things. Everything has cool abilities, and nothing is too complicated, you know? Like, dude, the massive complication for, like, Arcane Mage is, like, Arcane Blast, Arcane Barrage, Arcane Blast, Arcane Barrage. Like, you just use a bunch of arcane shit. And arcane missiles and blah, blah, blah. Like, that, it's like 5 main abilities, right? Mage now? Dude. Oh my god. Mage right now, for just Frost Mage, you need, like, a PhD and, like, 30 different abilities on your hotbar. It's insane. That's why I haven't made a mage in retail. Retail WoW is just too fucking complicated as well. And they're not willing to cut down the complication. So it's twofold. Overcomplication and lack of balls to make abilities game-breakingly fucking cool. Game balance shouldn't be really an issue anymore because, honestly, it's always been unbalanced. Straight up. It fucking sucks how unbalanced it is. But they keep trying to make it like Giga balanced, and it's just, they make the game just more lame with all of these, like, overbalancing of things, you know?
I think that if Blizzard tries to make them cool, it won't be balanced. And retail WoW is for a bunch of, like, try-hard nerds.
Okay, I didn't go that hard, but yeah, I mean, dude, Asmon is spitting here, man. It really is. Like, the game is built around balancing for Mythic Plus and Mythic rating. Straight up. That is true. He is completely correct. There's a reason I've not done any Mythic rating and Mythic pluses, because it is like that. And like I said, my warrior uses a lot of passives that take away some of the active abilities, and it's a complete DPS loss. Why? Because even doing that, I still have to press like 10 fucking buttons. If I didn't, and I was using like the optimal warrior DPS spec, like, dude, I have to have like 16 buttons that I'm pressing. I have hand injury, man. I'm not able to do all that anymore. It's fucking nuts.
Like, that's what retail WoW is all about. It's
And
not
it's
about
less
having
cool.
fun. It's not about the game class fantasy or anything
Yeah.
like that. It's about, you know, making sure that you're able to AoE down a trash pack of mobs while you're continuously stunning them in a Mythic Plus dungeon at level 27
Yep.
Efficiently.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
I just can't
I try to do a little Mythic rating on my warrior completely off stream, because World of Warcraft content on stream is like, at least for retail WoW, is not really a popular thing, let's be real. And that's okay. People like what they like. People like what they don't like. That's totally fine. I listen to my community, and I listen to what you guys like to watch, and in large numbers, and so on. And that is how I figure out what games to play with you guys, because I want to make it interesting for you guys. But all that being said, dude, the elitism when it comes to Mythic rating is insane. If you don't know every single thing about everything, you're just not allowed to play that segment of the game. The barrier of entry is so fucking high, both on the actual gameplay, also the amount of buttons you need to do because of the complication of every fucking spec, but also the amount of add-ons you need. And you have to have like certain gear scores and certain things and certain levels of like, you know, certificates of completion and shit. And if you don't have all 10 of those things, all 15 of those things, you're just not allowed to play that segment of the game. So after a couple of times of trying, I just said, fuck it, I'm not going to bother. that's the entire thing. It's too fucking complicated, and it is too bent on making the end game just for that like 0.00001% of the population. Rating isn't even hard. Just don't get hit. Oh, normal rating isn't hard. I completely agree with you, Potato. I'm talking about mythics. Mythics aren't like the top tier, and like, dude, if like you're with 20 other people for the 20-man raids or whatever, and 2 people get killed, the entire boss fight is just dead. You can't do it. It's one of those things.
imagine this being interesting.
It's just too stupid.
I mean,
And not only that, man. When you're doing like the highest level of rating, watch. Let me illustrate this point. When I was talking about the add-ons, you can't even see what the fuck is going on the screen. We're talking about a lot of different issues, but oh my god, what the fuck is this? All right, World of Warcraft. There we go. Some random bunny girls. Yeah, okay. So I think this is because I can't tell what the fuck is going on the screen. How do I open it up? There we go. Yeah. Yeah. Of course there's an ad. Wait through the ad. Okay, you know what? Screw this ad. Let's find someone who's mythic rating. Is anyone mythic rating? Because if we can find someone who's mythic rating, I can show you how hard it is to see shit in the game. Vault. This guy's not even playing World of Warcraft. Here we go. Oh yeah, this one looks pretty strong. Tag search? Where's the tag search? How do I open it? All right, there we go. A lot of people don't even use tags. Why is it on 160p? Jesus Christ. Compare that to FF14. Oh no, dude, that's one of the things I love about FF14. FF14 just straight up said no mods of any kind, no add-ons. Add-ons, you use an add-on, you're banned. It doesn't matter what it is. I love that. And they, whatever feature that you need as an add-on, they just add it to the game, and it's for everyone. This is straight up classic, isn't it? Yeah, you know how I can tell this is classic? Because, no, this is not classic. This is, okay, so they're not doing mythic rating here. But, like, okay. How many things is going on the screen at the same time? This is insane, man. My eyes are bleeding just watching open world content. And yeah, this is like a 40-man raid. But 40-man raid in Classic is not nearly this complicated. It's fucking not. It's just too much, man. It's just too much. Now let's look at FF14. Sure. This is just to compare, guys. This is just to compare. Fantasy 14. I've actually not seen much rating for FF14. But I know that add-ons are just not a thing. Here we go. This guy looks like he's this lady looks like she's doing a dungeon or something. Oh, she's talking about Twitch. Fair, but not what we're looking for. Here we go. This guy's doing something. This guy's doing something. Also, the music in F14 is insane. Yeah, okay. So you have your abilities at the oh my god. Okay. Oh, he just won. So you have your abilities at the bottom, 0 add-ons, nothing. You got your party up there, and that's it. It's so much simpler. It is so much simpler. This is bomb fact. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Now, I'm not a huge fan for like how like everything seems like sectioned off. It's kind of a little weird. I don't know if every dungeon is like this, but every dungeon I've seen feels like this. So, but that's like just a personal thing. But most of the rest of it, like, absolutely. You need to be on acid to understand it. Really? I feel like that way about mythic rating in World of Warcraft. I feel like that is like absolutely bananas. Straight up. But yeah.
Thane sounds really cool. I'll be honest. What do I think is the coolest one out of all of this?
Rider of the Apocalypse. There's no way.
Rider of the Apocalypse.
There you go. There you go.
This one, in my opinion, is cooler than all of the other ones probably put together. So if I can't be a...
This is why I like get so unhappy when people judge what Asmongold's like thumbnails are and stuff without like watching the video. Because he's saying completely normal things here. Like normal things that I'm talking about. That we're literally agreeing on. Right? And then like his thumbnail's like, the war within is dead. And people judge it on that. And it's like he's saying normal stuff. He's a level-headed guy generally.
Warcraft 2 Death Knight, whenever I have the Rider of the Apocalypse thing, ooh, I'm out.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no, he makes a good point. Like Blizzard won't do something like you're on your Apocalypse horse the entire time. And you're just slinging like fucking like death balls just the entire time. Like straight up Warcraft 2 level Death Knight. Yeah, exactly. They're never going to do that.
Yeah, I'm out.
Yeah, that's like the fucking hero from Warcraft 3. Give me that shit.
Rider of the Apocalypse. You could be a rad Death Knight.
You could be a...
Everyone is saying it, man. Everyone is saying it. Hey, Minquo, what is this guy's name? I've been trying to think of this guy's name for a while. Bellular's co-host. I like him a lot. I just can't remember his name. I keep calling him that guy.
Scale Commander sounds like a bitch.
You know you want to be a
Yeah, I mean, he's right, dude. Scale Commander sounds like a bitch. Arkan sounds like a bitch. Oracle sounds like a bitch. Lightsmith sounds like a bitch. Totemic sounds like a bitch. Shadowpan sounds like a bitch. Straight up.
Shaman, that sounds cool.
Oh, wow.
Sun
Fury.
How much you want to bet that Farseer Shamans will still have a 40-yard spell range?
Ooh, true. Dude, if they wanted to go really thematic, Farseer's at 55 range. Game break it, man. I don't give a fuck. Farseer's overpowered? Doesn't matter. I'm a warrior. I don't care. I'm a bloodrender warrior, you know, like that. Or I wish I was, but we're all, my choice is Slayer. Like what the fuck ever, man. Like, dude, I don't care if they break the game with 55 range for a Farseer. I want to like literally bathe in blood, blood bathing warrior, like straight up warrior spec, blood bather. Oh man, holy shit, that's what I want.
Dark Ranger Hunter.
200 range. 200 is a bit much, but 55 is a lot. Normal range is 35. No, sorry. Normal range is 30. Straight up. Yellow ribbon. So 40. So 55 to 60 range is a massive increase. Like that's gigantic increase.
45, it's 42, 45. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's the awesome ham shank. Yeah.
60 to 70.
Oh, wait. Hold on. This is the actual thing. So as the Dark Ranger, you get an active ability called Black Arrow. Shadow damage every 2 seconds. So it's a special arrow that does a dot. Each time the Black Arrow deals damage, you have a chance to reset the cooldown of aimed shot. Excuse me. So you can kind of spam shots. Okay, that's okay. Aim shot and rapid fire have a 15% increased damage. See, this is the shit I hate. Range is finesse. It just adds like some percentage passive. That's the lamest shit ever, man. This is so fucking lame. I am inherently completely disappointed with this. Hey, Dark Shade. There's a Death Shade. When you apply Black Arrow to a target, you gain Death Blow or Hunter's Prey effect. I don't know what that means, so maybe that's cool. Dark Hounds. See, this is cool. Each time Black Arrow deals damage, you have a chance to manifest an undead hound on your to charge your target and deal shadow damage. See, that's a cool ability. Out of these 3 abilities, this is the coolest. But why are the other 2 so fucking lame? Why would you not go the Death Hounds? They're good dogs. That's cool. The rest of these are fucking dumb. And I feel like most of these abilities are going to be dumb.
Play this game, Michael. Don't answer that honestly.
Let's see what else is here. Embrace the shadow, you heal. Cool. That's a lame-ass passive. It's helpful, but it's also not cool. If you want this to be a thing, put it on the actual, like, bar. On the actual talent tree. Not on this cool, like, special mini tree. The special mini tree has to be special. It has to be thematic. It has to be really fucking dope. Right now, it's just lame. When Black Arrow resets, you gain some focus. Lame passive. I want cool shit. I want the Dark Doggos. I want, like, something insane.
Yeah, so here's what they are. They're talent trees. They're mini talent trees that you
Yeah,
have access
all they
to
are
on
mini
top of
talent
the
trees,
existing
guys.
talent trees.
I think they're cool. I actually do need to.
Bellular, I love you. I respect you. But they're lame as fuck. They're not cool. These are okay. These are just mini talent trees. I don't dislike it, dog. It's just like the early leveling for F14 was very lame. So I know it gets better after 60 or whatever, but it's just like you have to play like what 30-odd hours in order to get there. Kind of thing.
I thought they were cool, and then I looked at the Balanced one, and
I'll look
my
more into
brain
it.
Went abort mission. Get
You
me out
know
of here.
what? Talk about playing WoW as
They fixed
as a
the early
next
leveling?
topic.
Okay, good.
Because I'm continually
I hope
seeing
so.
because I've not been able to play enough because I've basically just been trying to solve problems and make things good here. So
Right.
it's actually getting to the point where I go home and there's like 2 things in my head. It's make a really good Notion tab.
Disengage will chain the closest target to the ground, causing them to move 40% slower. No. If they wanted to make dark chains cool, disengage will chain the closest target to the ground. It shoots out electricity that zaps the fucking target and like makes them writhe in pain. That's cool. That's like a real dark chain. This is just fucking like a mini slow, man. What the fuck, dude? Make this, you can make this cooler, Blizzard. This is so fucking lame, bro.
Template and play World of Warcraft, and I keep having to do the Notion template because that's useful for like other people here. But I'm like, and then me and Dakor, we've been talking about like, God, you know what'd be really cool? Just having fun in WoW.
Yeah.
For him instead of all the sweat.
Yeah,
stuff.
just having
maybe
fun.
I actually do want to talk
I
about.
think retail.
I want crazy shit and I want it to be fun. Let's see what Asmon says, because I feel like Asmon is a relatively level-headed guy, and I feel like the stuff that I just talked about the issues that retail WoW has, I feel like he's going to agree. Like, I don't know.
WoW is so far down the sweat.
Yeah.
The
Everything is balanced around Mythic rating and Mythic Plus. And by like 27,000 key Mythic Plus or whatever the fuck that even means.
the sweat path.
Yeah.
That it will never become a non-sweat game again.
Right.
Like if they
Yeah,
want
that's
to
true.
make
That's true.
the game no longer a sweaty game, they need to make it to where the API can't read, like you can't read anything with an add-on with an API.
Abso-fucking-lutely. Yes. He went deeper than I did. I was just talking about add-ons, but he's talking about API, which means like WoW logs and parsing and everything of that nature as well. I agree. Get rid of all API reading. Completely agreed. Abso-fucking-lutely. Absolutely. I 100% agree. You shouldn't have to download 15 add-ons, 10 of which tell you the exact nuances of the fight and where exactly to move when in order to play the fucking game. Because then the game developers have no choice but to bounce around that shit. And it makes the fights too fucking complicated. And you get one shot by everything. It's the stupidest shit ever. Rating in retail World of Warcraft is so fucking lame. Compared to Classic even. Like, Classic is much simpler. Classic is easy mode, frankly. But I don't mind that. It's still really fucking fun. It's like much more fun. No add-ons. Yeah, exactly. I don't need a single add-on to raid in Classic World of Warcraft. A, because I, played it way back, so I understand all the fights, and I played to a religious level. But you really don't need the add-ons. Like, if you went in to World of Warcraft Wrath of the Lich King Classic right now, you could raid right now, after you level up and get your enchants and all that shit, which is a barrier of entry, but, it's at least not to the level of fucking retail. You could, without any singular add-on at all whatsoever, raid right now and be successful. You could do it. It's not that hard. Now, people in, like, the highest tier of raiding guilds and shit, they're still assholes, and they're gonna, like, make sure you have all that shit, and that's just, the WoW player in general. But you could technically just lie and be totally fine. Straight up. That's why SOD is so damn good. Yeah, I need to go back to SOD Yellow Ribbon. I really want to. My Hunter in SOD is only, like, level 18. And that's my highest level. So I really want to get, like, to the highest level in SOD. I know they expanded it. So now it's what, like 40 is the max? Is the cap or something? Which is pretty cool. So definitely we'll be going back to SOD at some point.
Because that's really where the problem comes
Yeah,
from.
40. Mm-hmm.
Is like everything in WoW is like so hyper fixated around being like optimized.
Yes.
Because everybody has like 75 different tools for how to play the game.
Yep.
And like everything in the game is like such an, like doing a raid is such an abstraction from doing a normal raid from like back in the day. I can't tell what's going on here.
He did exactly what I just talked about. Literally exactly what he's smart, man. Look, this is why Asmongold is smart, guys. This is exactly correct, though.
This must be retail.
I can't tell what's going on. This must be retail. Oh, he found a much better example than I did. Jesus Christ. What the fuck is going on here? I cannot tell for the life of me what is going on here. He's fighting some Life Warden. Things have millions of HP. Everything is on cooldown. All of these abilities need to be used. This is what? 4 by 5, 10, 13. So this is... Jesus Christ, it's like 18 fucking. Sorry, there's like 80 abilities, man, almost. What the fuck? If you consider, on the other hand, you might be stupid. Possibly true, but I'm not stupid. Like, that's the thing. This is just over fucking complicated. This is just fucking dumb level of complication. It's just straight up over complicated. That's it.
Yeah, this is retail. And so we're just going to pause this and look at it. What the fuck is going on?
Yeah, exactly.
And if you've played the game a lot, you know exactly what the
why does this character have like literally 10 different buffs? And all of them are like the cooldown buffs. They're none of them. Okay, well, this one's like Shadow Meld, right? But like the rest of them, like these numbers ones are cooldown buffs. That means it's some kind of proc or some shit that they need to use. It's a lot. It's way too fucking much, man. And that is why fucking retail WoW is so much more complicated for no goddamn reason.
Fuck is going on? Like, this is obviously tracking all of the internal cooldowns of all of the different classes. These are their debuffs. This is, I'm assuming, probably an interrupt.
Yellow Ribbon says, I think people get confused because he plays a character most of the time, and then we'll make these very well thought out arguments in the discussions of the game. That's the thing, Yellow Ribbon. I watch a lot of Asmongold videos. He's not a character almost any of the time. Like, this is him literally 99% of the time. Very rarely is he playing off some other weird character. But his thumbnails and everything are way off the wall. That's the thing. People look at the thumbnails, people look at like the titles of his videos, they're just like, oh man, or they're like, watch like some 1 minute segment, right? And they'll be like, he has this like entire like cogent argument for like the rest of the entire thing. And then in the middle of the argument, like they'll take out 1 minute where he said like something out of context, and they'll just like say, oh man, Asmongold's a fucking whack job. And I'm like, no, you can't do that. It's so dumb. Asmongold is a Chocobo plush. Oh, dude, Asmongold's a giant fan of F14. Hamshank, like straight up. Like he was the best marketing tool for F14 for me. I want to play F14 at some point because he talks about how much fun he had in the story. And like it was a really long way to go through the entire main story, and it was an enjoyable experience. And I love story games. So that by itself is what convinced me that at some point I will have to play through it.
Rotation. This is the spell cast of, I guess, the target that's on their focus.
Yep, exactly. And this is an add-on thing, by the way.
This is the mob here. Like, this is all the debuffs and the buffs.
Yep, this way of having the debuffs and everything in this way, all add-on.
As well.
This
like,
is not base.
Spell.
How do I know this? Because I only use base. I use base World of Warcraft retail because I don't give a fuck. And I know how lack of complication it is, but you're missing so much detail.
Those are damage done and damage done for the different pack. Like, I mean, you know what all this is if you've played the game a lot.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, think about how much different this is versus
what's a mob bar?
What the game looks like without any of this.
Yeah.
Like, you go and you look at this, like, this is just me doing.
And the other problem with World of Warcraft, this has been a problem from time immemorial, but in Classic through, at the most Wrath, it was kind of like in the design, because it was trying to make, every fight mean something, where if you die in a fight, you have to res, you have to run all the way back to the dungeon, you have to rebuff, you have to do all this shit. But the problem is it wastes a lot of fucking time, right? Isn't it in Final Fantasy 14, when you die, you respawn right at the fucking boss? Like, I think that's how it works, right? In F14, you gotta tally. Yeah, there you go. You gotta tally. That's what I mean. Yeah, you get a tally. Bam. Done. That's another just like giant fucking problem with World of Warcraft. Same in retail. Like, in retail is still insane. Roberto, buddy, welcome, my friend. We're doing an awesome discussion. You should join in if you like MMOs.
BWL. There's not as much shit going on.
Yeah, dude, there's like there is still some shit, there's still add-ons, but the amount of, like, this is base UI, for example. Right here, base UI. this is an add-on for threat. That's fine. This is an add-on that is for damage meter, and that's okay. But that's literally the extent of the add-ons, almost. There's I guess like this is a raid add-on for a little bit of UI change here. But most of this is vanilla. The vast majority of this is vanilla.
This is classic WoW, right? It's pretty simple to understand.
It's very simple, yeah.
Now, obviously, I have like a big DPS meter up, but there's
Right.
really not a lot going on.
And like, dude, how hard is it for the Blizzard devs to add a fucking DPS meter instead of forcing everyone to have to download this add-on? How hard is it? It shouldn't be that hard. Like, what the fuck are they doing?
Comparatively. Now, obviously, if you've never played the game, both of these things look relatively impenetrable.
Right. True.
But in my opinion, I would say that the retail WoW is just, with add-ons and everything, it's just too much, man.
It's convoluted.
In a little bit.
It's
But
cluttered.
anyway,
It's
these
too
hero
much. Yeah.
specs. Sorry
agree.
for breaking the flow on you, everyone. Yeah,
Doc says, Asmon has been a huge advocate for decreasing frustration for dungeons and raids by having things like wiping kick everyone out right before the boss room so you're not spending 30 minutes. Also not having to have 2 to 3 hours on trash alone. Yeah, I completely agree. Doc. 100%. All those takes, absolutely. And I've gotten cooked for those takes on Twitter and shit. I don't care because I'm fucking right.
they're basically
Exactly.
Yep, they're that. You've talked about them. I
And
think
it's like,
some
I
At
feel
14, we
like a
don't need DPS
here's
meters?
like really
How does
what
that
the
work?
bottom line is. Why would I want to play that?
Right. Yeah, exactly. That's what I was saying. Oracle sounds fucking lame. I don't want to play it. Dude, even Colossus sounds kind of lame. Even Mountain Thing sounds kind of lame, especially after seeing like the Dark Ranger, which sounded cool. Like the Dark Ranger, half the abilities on the little Dark Ranger tree are just fucking lame.
Like, if I'm a new player, how could I possibly see that and be like, oh, this is fun.
Right.
This is what I want to get involved with.
Yeah. Like I said, if they wanted to make like Druid of the Claw, looking back on it, guys, Druid of the Claw is thematic, but it's also just fucking lame. I'm sorry. Like, I guess it's forcing on transforming, things like that. But yeah. They need to really work on these names. They need to work on these themes. They need to really just revamp the entire hero spec list and system straight up. It's just not even close, man. Absolutely.
That's the issue.
will be better than
Harbinger of the Lightning God. Like, just straight up fucking lightning bolts everywhere. Lightning bolts upon lightning bolts upon lightning strikes. Just lightning fucking everywhere. Your eyes light up in lightning like you're fucking Thor from Infinity War or whatever. Like, that's what the lightning spec for the shaman should be.
others. Blizzard overtly said, because I do want to be fair to them, they overtly said that they want to.
The more we learn about hero talents, the less excited I get about what this means for each spec's future. Yep. We could have had class skins that are completely optional aesthetics. No, I don't even like that, dude. They had me in the first half. I'm not gonna lie, but this second half is, dude. We don't want just fucking lame ass class skins.
Get the designs for these out early, and they
get
want to
feedback,
do that
yeah.
so they can iterate heavily. They even said, like, if you
Bro,
think that's
they better iterate heavily because right now this looks lame as shit. Like, I don't think the War Within is dead at all. Like, I'm excited. Day one play it for sure. You know me. But this is not looking exciting.
some of these ideas,
Somebody says, wouldn't you think about the same thing about PoE? No,
About what
because
part?
if you watch somebody playing PoE, you will have the fundamental same experience as they do. Like, for example, is there somebody actually just doing a map? Yeah, is just a guy doing a map?
I guess
Okay,
that's true. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, this is a lot different than normal PoE. Anyway, like the potions are in the same place. The spells are in the
Oh, I mean, Yellow Ribbon. There's been several MMOs where specs do certain things. extra. Like there was one of Minqua's in my favorite MMOs back in the day was called Secret World, and every spec did damage plus something else. So everything was on the damage meters doing good damage. Like for example, there was like an assault rifle spec where every single time you did damage, you were tossing out like heal over time, and it was like leeching health from the enemy to heal your tank and your party mates and such. And so I think it's something like that, right? And like the tank, which is like you'd use hammer, and you could like tank with a hammer, right? But like you would also be doing massive amounts of damage and some CC and some self-healing. The sword spec, every time you like dodge an ability, every time you like proc something with your sword, you would get like a heal over time kind of thing. There was like a lot of like shared types of themes that would work with all kinds of different classes and specs, and you could mix and match. So it gave you so many more choices. It was actually super fucking cool, and I wish a lot more MMOs did that. M14 doesn't use DPS meters. Even if you use one, talking to people about their DPS using meters actually grounds for temporary ban. You guys don't want that in the game. I actually respect that. Yeah, fuck them. I completely agree.
Same place. There's a health bar and a mana bar. Like fundamentally, if you've played PoE,
Right.
you are having the same experience as somebody who is playing the game on stream.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, if you know a lot about the game, it's going to be completely different. But the disparity between
Now the problem with PoE is I kind of will have some pushback here, because PoE, in order to make a viable spec, you have to have like you have to have like a fucking spreadsheet. I call it spreadsheet simulator, because I know games that are spreadsheet simulators. I love them. I used to play a lot of them. EVE Online was very much a spreadsheet simulator style game. PoE is very much a spreadsheet simulator kind of game. So it has its own complication, but at least on the UI side, he is right. Like, it's basically the same UI.
he sees in like a top player UI in WoW versus what an average person is experiencing, these are two completely different games. And I think it's so much the case that it becomes
Could do spreadsheet sim games.
impenetrable
Totally fine.
for a new player.
Totally fine.
Because
But the other problem is that like now Zima, World of Warcraft retail feels like a spreadsheet simulator game, and it didn't used to be. It's just too overly complicated. Now, if a game starts out as a spreadsheet simulator game, and it's like, this is what it is, you either are really into it, you like it, you're gonna play it like a PoE, or you're not. And it is what it is. Totally fine. But when it starts out as something else and it transforms into a spreadsheet simulator game, that's when an issue really, really, really happens.
the
in my
reason
opinion.
why these
That's
players
the
have
problem.
all those tools and those resources. It's because those increase their awareness and make them better at the game.
Of like a fantasy or
And everything is balanced around it.
People feel like they need to have it.
There-
like they
You're gonna get a lot
literally
of
said that at
feedback.
BlizzCon.
Some of the war.
Honestly, World of Warcraft is a great game, Zima, but I would say if you want to play World of Warcraft, either play Classic, which is its own great thing, or just play Season of Discovery. Just don't even bother with retail. Like, no. You can play retail, but do what I did, Zima, and just don't do rating. Like, play through the entire game. The storyline is great. Dragonflight's storyline, at least thematically, is kind of, it's silly dragons and shit. But, like, at least the quest design is pretty cool in Dragonflight. The class specs are pretty cool in Dragonflight. These hero specs, while we're talking about this, is a separate thing. The actual class specs are quite fun for the several different classes I played in retail. But play it casually. And the best thing about Dragonflight is you can play it casually. You just are locked out of playing the endgame completely. That's all. Which is kind of idiotic. But at least you can still enjoy it.
Conduit of the Celestials.
Lightning Rod? Yeah.
Survivals and RTSs are completely different.
Okay, cool.
But I
Sure,
understand what
fine.
you're saying. They're completely different. Hail, my friend. Welcome. Happy evening. Good to see you.
And they, I think, knew
Doing some just
about
chatting.
themselves, which is why they asked for feedback. So
yeah, they're like,
that's
this is some first draft shit.
Yeah.
Please.
It's to say that
Dude, even as a first draft, like I said, man, if you have a first draft where 90% of the first draft is shit, that's a really bad first draft. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, that is a really, really disappointing first draft. I don't think I've ever written a first draft where I delete 90% of it. Like that is bonkers. That is absolutely bonkers. Hale, thank you so much for the sub, buddy. 4 months and countless more. You're amazing. You're kind. You're wonderful. We love you, Hale. Thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart, my friend. I hope you enjoy the lovely discussion that we're having.
They were fairly open, and they were overtly receptive to feedback, and they continually said that
I hope so. That is very good what Bellular is saying, but the proof of the pudding, as they say, is in the eating. So honestly, if they iterate it and actually make massive changes, that is when I will say, oh, they're listening to feedback. Right now, they're at least just like acting like they're listening. They're hearing the feedback. They're openly hearing the feedback. That's fine. But I will only say they're listening to the feedback if they make real changes.
they're not class skins. And it's that challenging thing. This has an overlap with an ideal version of the thing that we all can agree would be really awesome if they could do it.
Right.
And it
Yeah.
has
If they
enough
could
of
do
an
it.
overlap that it then conjures
And Bellular's buddy, Asmon, and I all are dubious if Blizzard can actually pull this off. Because right now, like I said, the first draft is 90% wrong. That's brutal.
They can't do it. They can't do it because the
Okay, well, I'm hopeful. Asmon is not hopeful, but I'm hopeful.
game is built so much around balance.
Yeah. Okay, that's true. I
They
talked
are-
about that earlier.
Blizzard is too fixated on making the game balanced
Yeah.
in order to make it fun.
And like I said, fuck balance. Straight up, fuck balance. Fuck Mythic Plus. Fuck Mythic rating. I want the Farseer to have 60 range. Break the game. I want the Slayer to bathe in blood. Like straight up a maelstrom of strikes, of two-handed weapons, of just like bleeds everywhere. I don't care if it's busted. I want the Rider of the Apocalypse to always be on a fucking death mount, shooting death coils everywhere. Does it sound strong? I don't give a fuck. I just don't care. Make it fun,
They will
man.
never add something into the game that's fun to play
Yeah.
unless it's balanced.
Yep. Yep.
Like you're not going to have a situation where like you had Death Knights and like Wrath.
And that is why, and the reason why is because Blizzard's entire balance situation is all bent around Mythic rating and Mythic Plus, and high key Mythic Plus, which is like the top shit. And guess how many people play that shit? 0.00001% of the population. That's it. And guess what? That's why the game is dying. I'm not even like overstating it or anything like that. That is why numbers have been dwindling. Dragonflight has reinvigorated a bit, great, but that is a giant issue with the game. Straight up.
Or you had, you know, like even like Warriors and Classic WoW. And like, not that even you really want that,
Right.
but it's just not, they're not going to.
There's a good middle ground between, you know, 3-button Warriors in Classic WoW and the 20-button Warriors in retail. There's a middle ground here. It doesn't need to be 20. It also doesn't need to be 3.
do anything that's like really groundbreaking. Like even Demon Hunters and Legion were crazy.
mind what a full Dark Ranger sub-spec or something would be.
Yeah, and this
Yeah.
is exactly why
Which
I've
it ain't.
seen it being
Exactly.
connected to Garrisons too, in the sense that it's like this is it's not even like it's trying to be.
Given what is expected,
It's
yeah.
literally just this is kind of
Well, Augmentation is a great example. Like Augmentation completely split the community and people are furious about it. Like I hear all the
Right.
time that like nobody likes Augmentation Evokers because they're not just like raw DPS and
And the problem is, everyone cares about raw DPS. I think, like, if we had rewound time and had something like a Bard in Classic WoW, no one would give a shit. Like, if we had a... Dude, we've had proper support classes, not healers, support classes, buffers, things like that, all the way back in Ultima Online, in EverQuest, in like so many other MMOs. And World of Warcraft was like, no, we don't want to open that. We don't want a bard. We don't want a Buffy thing. No, no, no. And the game was less rich for it, straight up.
Everybody feels like they need to have them. Nobody asked for augmentation. A lot of people have wanted support classes ever since Vanilla WoW.
I'm working as a bard. I know.
That's not true.
We can't commit to giving you exactly what you want for whatever reason.
Yeah,
be it
tons of people
production
wanted
entity,
that.
We don't think it's
Yeah.
a good idea, etc., etc., etc.
I don't mind the
Like,
fact that we have an
obviously,
augmentation
that's what
invoker.
Campus points out, is like, we could have just had class skins that are completely optional at set exchange, but instead you're forced them.
I
to
mean,
up
various
to some
classes can
extent.
buff
And
Hamshake.
now
We just don't
we
have like
could
a
have
pure
just had
support class.
Is a massively loaded statement because it's like, what's your source for? We could have just had.
Yeah.
from the player
Tanks
perspective
tanks
of
can
experience,
buff. You know, paladins
You
can
go,
buff.
well, would you
Priests can
rather
buff.
have some extra gameplay choices that are in here?
There you
it's
go,
like-
Doc. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they want to increase.
Yeah,
pop-
Doc. What you're saying, Bard has sorry, F14 has a Bard. That's really interesting. You give buffs based on how you order attacks. That sounds like I don't know if you ever played Monster Hunter World. That sounds like Hunter Flute or whatever the fuck it's called. Where it's like this giant like musical instrument, and the way you move the musical instrument with your attacks is the different types of buffs it shoots out. Hunting Horn. Yeah, thank you. I forgot the name. But yeah, exactly. Yeah, super bagpipes. Yeah, basically.
They want to give us more.
God of Long,
talents,
welcome, my friend.
And this is their solution. Their solution was
Yeah, that's really
we can
cool.
make mini talent trees, but we have to frame them in some capacity. Oh, this is a good idea to add little bits of tiny bits of fantasy,
Yeah.
so we can create effectively what our
But the problem is, I don't want tiny little bits of fantasy. If they're putting all of their eggs for the development of the next, hero extra fantasy, as hero specs for the next expansion for the War Within, they need to go all out. I don't want tiny bits. I want the full Monty, as the saying goes. I want the entire damn thing.
really miniature subspecs, and we'll have those subspecs shared because we kind of like a little bit of that. Just have them shared.
It just sounds
Makes more
lame
sense.
as
We
shit.
don't have to do one individually. We can like make them kind of work across, so
Yeah.
you can have access to
Asmongold
these-
is just has his head in his hands, exactly how I'm feeling.
these aesthetics and these kind of not class skins, but these abilities, right? So obviously, if you want to be a Dark Ranger, that's for BM and for Marksmanship Hunter. So like, you want to be a Dark Ranger? Yeah, you can be a Dark Ranger.
This is
without
fucking
locked into
lame.
one specific spec. That's cool. What is Dark Ranger? You get Black Arrow and a couple of things. I think the problem is someone goes, well, do you want to be a Dark Ranger or do you want to be,
Lightsmith. Lame name, but if they're going for this, I want an ability as a lightsmith, fucking paladin, where I press a button and my sword or two-handed weapon or whatever kind gets magnified as like a giant fucking lightsaber, essentially. Right? If it's a sword, it's a lightsaber. If it's a mace, it's like a glowing mace with like fucking lightning coming out of the fucking sides and tips of it. Like, I just want, like, just go extra, man. Extra with everything. You can make something as lame sounding as a lightsmith end up being cool, but you have to go extra with it. Bringer of Light? Not even Bringer of Light, but like something. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's better than Lightsmith. Yeah, Lightsmith is like, dude, am I like fucking like Armor Smith now? Like, what the fuck is this shit? Like,
Somebody says, how would I do it?
Light
I
Warden.
think that
Yeah,
the problem isn't
exactly.
really there's no one thing that's wrong. Like, retail WoW has evolved in a way.
or just like the Fire of Holy Light or some shit like that. You know, like something super extra. Told you about a bug I had when Morgan became an orc. Oh my god, that sounds insane. Huh? Really, Potato? How does that work?
That it's like a house of cards.
Right.
So, like, if you change one thing in the game, it will negatively affect a lot of other things in the game. I think that the game needs, like, a...
Oh, no. Kiata Kangaroo says, did you expect Blizzard to not have lame shit? Yes. Because Dragonflight is a massive step in the right direction. Dragonflight, gameplay-wise, is quite good. It still has massive issues, and I've gone into great detail about it. But I'm not saying Dragonflight is bad. Dragonflight is the best World of Warcraft retail has been in like a fucking decade, almost. Like, straight up, Shadowlands was atrocious. BFA was atrocious. Like, I fucking like played them for a month, and I was like, I can't play this shit anymore. It's so fucking bad. But like Dragonflight is a giant step in the right direction. I still sometimes log on Dragonflight and play it. That's a lot for me because I didn't play Shadowlands or BFA after a month at all. I just completely just uninstalled all that shit. And so can they do even better? So the thing is, like, I think they can do better. I don't know if they're going to go all the way and make hero specs interesting, but at least they have the capability. I have no doubt they have the capability. I wouldn't be making this video if I didn't think they had this capability. And Demi Mask Menace, welcome, my friend. Good to see you. We love you. We miss you. Great to have you back. We're having a great discussion about the war within.
I think it needs a really big reset.
Yeah.
I think there's too much of everything. I actually like the idea of the hero specs, and it's something that I always thought would be really cool.
Right.
But
not
I
in
think
this
with
iteration.
a lot of them, they're not going to take risks. Like, I
Exactly.
don't know why. Like, why are priests? Why do they not have like a cultist one, where it's like a melee priest that runs really fast or something?
That sounds pretty cool. Just straight up a priest that used knives. Why not? Sounds overpowered? Fuck yeah. Priest that can like go into shadow form, has knives, fucking Naruto runs and stabs shit. I'm down. Monks, I think monks using weapons is dumb. Personally, Yellow Ribbon. Monks should be hitting things with their fists. Like, have you ever played BDO? There's like a monk spec in BDO where you're just like a brawler, you just beat the shit out of things with your fists. And you basically feel like Vi mixed with Bruce Lee. That's like what I wanted out of Monk. That's one reason I never made a Monk in World of Warcraft. Because it's not like that at all.
I think that would be way cooler than Oracle.
Yeah,
I mean,
super cool.
personally, I think it would be cooler. And so some of these other ones, like, yeah, is there a witch doctor?
Nunchucks or
Yeah,
bow
there
staff?
should be a witch doctor for a shaman.
Is nunchucks and bow staff a monk thing? Because like monks are much more well known for fighting with their fists. Like nunchucks is a thing that was like in ninjutsu, right? Bow staff was a thing in a lot of things. Monks sure can use those things, but they're not thematically known for it. Monks in World of Warcraft have like bladed arms. They have like fucking claw attacks like Wolverine and shit, which is pretty cool in its own way, but all three specs use those. And I just want to use normal fists. I would just want to have like a spec where I'm just with my bare fist pummeling the shit out of something. You know? Yeah, like a D&D monk. Exactly, Slade the Blade. Exactly. Oh, well, you know, a traditional monk is like D&D, man. That's the thing.
Absolutely. Or a warlock, one or the other. I don't know. Like, I
Bio
just...
Silence can only communicate with via emotes.
Like,
when.
there's not an
True.
Inquisitor from a Paladin? How is there not an Inquisitor? I don't know, man. I think a lot of people are positive on retail, at least versus after the other previous expansions. I mean, sure, but to me, like, I feel like I can't get into the game because there's so many things that are in the game. Like, there's just so much to it.
Like I said, they need to make the things cooler while also cutting out half the extraneous shit. You don't need half the extraneous shit that is in the game right now for every single spec. Absolutely. Every single character that I've played in World of Warcraft so far in retail, even a little bit, you don't need half the shit. Warriors should not need 20 different abilities. I'm sorry. There's no one in the entire fucking community that could possibly convince me that a DPS warrior needs 20 different attack abilities. I'm sorry. There's no fucking way.
And I've never really, I don't feel that way with Lost Ark. I don't feel that way with Final Fantasy. I don't feel that way with New World. But, like, WoW just has, like, all...
New World is the other way. New World is like, you have 6 total abilities and that's it. New World's combat feels like a fucking mobile game. And I think New World was really cool. I played it for 2 straight months. Loved it. I played it after it was dead. But... absolutely, the fact that you only had a total of 6 abilities was really fucking lame. The level of being able to, you know, customize those abilities was extremely limited as well. It was way too limited. 6 is nothing.
These extra like verticals of difficulty that like no other game has.
A shadow pan,
And just not even difficulty, like complexity.
Yeah.
What have people had in their heads for these specs, these kind of additional aesthetic,
I talked
additional
about what I had
differences,
in my head.
all these aesthetic overrides of things? Because one of the things they pointed out was the Mountain Thane Warrior literally changes abilities, gives him more of that vibe. I can't remember what it was. It was like there's more lightning during Thunderclap. You can Thunderclap a lot more. There's what is it? Is it like Stormbolt? Spit?
That's okay. But like, dude, if Mountain Thane is not like I'm throwing out a Stormbolt every time I heroic leap, I don't want it. Something's fucking crazy. Because Mountain Thane sounds like the lamest out of all three of them. I'm not gonna lie. I want the Mountain Thane to be like a fucking Viking. Like a massive Chad Viking. Doing massive Chad Viking shit.
and it's like 3 targets with lightning blast as well.
Wow.
Stuff like that, you're like, that's kind
Yeah,
of crazy.
it sounds fucking
That's-
lame.
That feels like a tiny version of what we could have with a full overhaul.
Monks and
And
nuns.
that's where we get into like this
Martial arts
really full,
weapons.
um,
They're with martial arts, but generally not with like a ton of weapons. Yeah, Shaolin monks are a very specific subsect of monk. Most monks didn't even fight. Potato. The trained monks that were warriors or like that could fight were trained to fight mostly with hand-to-hand combat. Yeah, most monks brew alcohol, exactly.
it's like, I guess basically it is just an issue of people wanting a thing and not getting it directly, getting it slightly in a different format.
Yeah.
But it's not.
It's
supposed
not
to
even
be that,
slightly. This is just like
but it
mini
still
thing.
takes away from that.
Yeah.
It's like
Because the
10%
problem
of a
with the
thing.
player looking at this is cool, but I want
Anytime a thing is 10% of a thing, it's an insult.
this, and they're like, we were never offering you that as a binary choice.
Well, I mean, Potato, that's fine for a spec of monk. If a single spec of monk was like the weapon using monk, I'm totally fine. But all of them use shit. Why don't I have a bare-fisted monk that does nothing but beat the shit out of people and make it look super cool? That sounds really, really cool.
But it's almost like, hey,
Like instead of Master of Harmony, Shadowpan, Conduit of the Celestials, one of the monk specs could be like Drunken Mayhem, where it's just like drunken brawling, where you are literally not using a single weapon. You just have your fists. You're just doing like the crane form and just beating the shit out of people. Like BDO. BDO made that work. And BDO is like a 20 fucking year old game. Not 20, but like it's like, 12 years old or something like that.
you're hungry. Well, here's some like.
And they made it look
here's a
cool.
bottle of Lucozade.
Like every time you did like a
Like,
knee kick, it was like a rocket
sure,
like
the sugar
level
in
of
that-
knee kick. It was
Sure,
awesome.
But I was hungry, not thirsty.
It is of
It's another
type
MMO.
consumable,
Yeah.
but it is not of subtype food. Therefore,
It's an incredibly grindy MMO that had a lot of major issues, but the combat was super cool looking.
I'm unsatisfied.
Yeah, it's someone's
Yeah,
hungry and
that's
you
a
give
good way
them-
to
you
look
don't
at
give
it.
them something
Right.
to eat. You give them something to drink that's reasonably nutritious.
Right,
Something
right.
along the lines of like a Gatorade in the US or else. Or like,
Yeah,
cool, that's
I don't want a fruit smoothie here, man. I want my fucking steak dinner. Like I want a raw, like not a raw, but like a medium rare steak, perfectly cooked with good seasoning. Like, dude, don't give me this fucking fruit smoothie, man. I'll slap it away in your face.
it.
Prime
Food,
energy.
like we weren't offering you food.
So sort of
Like,
going through our statistic.
You know, but Blizzard doesn't understand after
Exactly,
the
Doc, that is the
past
issue.
of player power connected systems. It's
Fu
constant
Wang? No,
half
I've never heard of
measures
that.
instead of giving players what they're asking for. I think there's
I
like
played a
too
lot
many
of MMOs, but not
variables.
nearly all of them.
Like every
I wish I had
every
time.
class
Tell me about
has too
Fuwang.
many variables. And Blizzard dialed a lot of that back with Dragonflight.
Yes.
And I think it was a good decision to
And it was a massive W. That's why Dragonflight is better than all of the other, previous 3 expansions, straight up. But they can do better. Still, it is too complicated. Even after cutting down on a lot of the shit, it is still too complicated.
do that.
Permadeath,
But
yeah,
like
exactly.
even now, there's just too many things that are in the game.
Yeah,
I
too many.
honestly, I'm not kidding. Whenever I say I think one of the best things for the game would be for them to reset the game completely. reset the mechanics, reset the class design.
This is a hot take, but I completely agree with it. I would absolutely welcome a full reset. Just give me WoW 2. I mean, I had characters with every cosmetic, every fucking item possible. I had more gold than God in Wrath of the Lich King original. I would have given it all up, straight up, for a real reset.
Reset everything.
Yeah.
Because I feel like the game has just been so over-designed for so many years. Like, for example...
Blizzard will never do this because it would nuke their player base. And they're not willing to take the risk. But I think it would revamp the player base by having a whole bunch of people join the game. The problem is, they'll never do it. I don't think they'll ever do it. I completely agree with Asmon. I just don't think they'll ever do it.
Like, there's like a disorient, and there's also a sap, an incapacitate.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a hex, and then there's a polymorph.
There's a fear, and there's a horror. Why the fuck is there a fear and a horror? Like, what?
This is insane.
Dude, even paladins, ret paladins, they have an entire, like, passive thing, which adds another set of abilities because you have, like, holy fire damage as opposed to normal holy damage. Why is it a separate type of fucking damage? It makes no sense.
This is an unnecessary level of
I forgot what it's
complexity
called, but it's
that
called
does
something like
not
that.
make the game better.
Yeah.
It just makes it annoying.
Overcomplicated.
And hard to understand for an average person coming into the game.
Yeah, Beardo, we'll cover that tomorrow.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. It's convoluted.
Overly
As speaks for all casuals. Yeah, I kind of do. Like, I'm not really playing the game hardcore right now.
And I definitely speak for all the casuals. Holy smokes, man. I haven't played hardcore WoW since Wrath.
You're right. And that's that. This is my perspective as like more of a casual
Original
player now.
Wrath.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of people that feel the way that I do.
Yeah.
Very significant.
Do you want to niche down the game further and cut into the community further, or do you want to broaden it out and actually have new blood in the game? Actually grow the population? I think it's worth the risk, personally.
Absurdly representative.
Doc, I'm not going to tonight because we're going to be playing Nightingale.
Subsampling of tweets.
Full
which obviously represents the entire World of Warcraft community.
Yeah, full on, like, walking out the street and picking random people. Like, this is what this is. This
Right.
is what this is. It's like, this is what it feels like, a half measure. Even though...
Yeah,
from
I hate half
creation,
measures.
It isn't in any capacity.
Yeah, Yellow
designed
Ribbon.
to do that.
It's downloading
It's not
right
so
now.
much that It just feels this way.
So certainly,
Especially with now, obviously, a lot of these people are people who are not gameplay oriented.
Hyper prioritizing gameplay in a manner that undermines player experience with chosen fantasy of the RPG elements for the RPG is otherwise an ongoing detriment to the game. We don't want to have class skins to change the experience of our spells. They don't need to serve gameplay, just visuals. We just want different colored spells and cool pets.
I was agreeing at the top. No, I want cool fucking spells. I want cool fucking gameplay changes. Changing just appearance is hyper lame.
I'm going to say it. I think it'd be really cool if you could have a Death Knight that could do combat on a mount. I think that'd be really cool.
There you go. Absolutely.
And they can't wear plate armor anymore. They need to wear mail armor.
Ooh, I like that. Yeah, downside to the Harbinger of the Apocalypse or whatever the fuck. The Rider of the Apocalypse. There you go. That would be cool. Yeah. The Mountain Thane is always in Avatar mode, but it's heavier. You know, things like that. Down with that. Completely down with that.
Now, are they ever going to do that?
No.
Probably not.
They'll never do that. Absolutely
but that's
not.
the kind of stuff that I'd want to see too.
Yeah.
But it's just like this kind of stuff.
Dude, I bet you the Rider of the Apocalypse will get you like, you'll have like some like little active movement ability as you play. That is the exact same. The exact same as Ret Paladins. Or actually just Paladins in general. Where you just get on your mount for like 2 seconds. Once every minute or so. And you can do that to like quickly move from fight to fight or whatever. And that's like, okay. But that sounds like just a copy fucking paste ability. And I feel like that's exactly what they're going to do.
Get added into the game because it's not.
Yeah, it should actually bring the real life apocalypse. Correct. Yeah.
It's not balanced, basically.
The Rider of the Apocalypse should have an ability called the Spear of Destiny. Like the spear killed fucking like just straight up Jesus. And it's just like this absolute fucking spear that just like goes into ground and just skewers over and over for like 5 seconds straight. That would be awesome.
And I think that
would be
again,
really
the game
cool.
is like so hyper
and thematic
optimized by people that play it professionally that you're never going to have cool, fun things like that added into the game.
Exactly.
That as far as I can tell from looking at them.
I mean, think about
Why do I
augmentation
have
and how
to
much
pick
problems
talents that make
that
me look
created.
cool? Why can't I just fucking look cool? Which is you're going to get a lot of the problem, right? Where this is gameplay design.
We need
that
gameplay
is
design.
smuggled in under the aesthetic change.
Yes.
Or that's how it feels like people want the aesthetic change.
I think what I will say, if I'm going to plant my flag in the ground in this one,
Okay.
is
Go
I
ahead.
think class skins would be absolutely fantastic.
Absolutely.
I did not expect class skins.
Just make class skins as well. Don't make it the hero specs, but also have class skins. I'm fine with class skins. Why not both? Blizzard has the money. They have the dev talent. They could do it. It would be interesting, but it shouldn't be this hero spec shit. It's if they have it completely separate, totally fine with it. In fact, they should have it. You know what? I want class skins, but I don't want it to replace this hero spec. I want the hero specs to be its own really cool thing. And I want class specs or class skins, which is purely cosmetic, to be its own super cool thing. Bam. I want it both. Fuck them.
I'm not disappointed that we're not.
It's the
getting
biggest
class
MMO in the
skins.
world still.
I'm going to be honest, I could care less about that.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm weird, but I think it would be cool if you had new spells that you could opt into. That'd be cool.
Exactly.
Like
Turtle
class
person?
skins,
Yeah.
like,
Hell
yeah,
yeah.
that's nice. Like, you should add that too.
The turtle people are awesome.
But like, whenever I'm a mountain thane, I want to do like, I want to have it to where like my heroic leap does more damage than a mortal strike because that
Yeah.
would be really cool.
Yeah. That's a very mountainy thing to do. Like you have the strength of your legs is like a straight up mountain Viking type of deal where you just like leave a giant underground crater every time you like it's like a Hulk leap, you know? It's not just a heroic leap where it does like a little bit like, 6,000 damage or some lame shit like that. Make it straight up like a fucking Hulk leap.
I realistically think that they probably have a lot of artists working on big features.
I think it's important to note we don't even need it to be insanely strong. We just want to feel like we're being awesome. For example, what if one changed the heroic leap for warriors to make you leap instead? Instead of doing a superhero slam and creating a small AoE where you take less damage. I mean, they already have like a talent that does that, Doc. Like that's straight up a talent. The heroic leap will leave like a little like I play warrior, so I know. It'll leave like a little like ground shaking on the ground, and when you're on there for 5 seconds, you take 5% less damage. And it's like okay, but no, I want something really cool, because like, dude, with these hero spec things, you only have like 9 different options. It's like not that much. So if there's only like 9 different options or 15 different options or whatever, which is not really that much, make them all super cool and super thematic. And all of them. And I don't care if it breaks the game. That's the thing. If it's too strong, they're all too strong. Who cares?
For Midnight, I think that
Class skins midnight is cool.
take like animation.
That's okay, Doc. I was just letting you
department.
know.
That they have
No
a pretty
worries.
damn heavy workload.
Why not both?
As they update
Good point.
all of the
Why
mounts, or-
exactly? Why not both? Cosmetics, cool. Have that as well. Put some dev time in. I don't give a fuck, Blizzard. But also make this hero specs really bang.
at least as many as they can do.
Exactly, Doc.
So,
I understand.
like,
understand.
Yes, more things in the best way possible would
You should
be great.
prioritize balance overall. That's the
Obviously,
problem, Chaotic. Yes, that is
10.2.6
entirely the problem.
Player housing. That's Holly's surprise confirmed. But I'm still, I'm not going to be like, well, because it's not the best version of what it could be, I hate it. Because as I look at this, I'm like,
And also, like, how did we not have player housing in World of Warcraft by now? Like, dude, people have been asking for player housing since original vanilla, man. I know. I was there. Don't cite the old lore to me, witch. I was there when it was written.
what, sure, that seems like...
Well, and also people are saying the mountain thing seems like it's not fun.
They could make it fun.
Okay, imagine if Shockwave was your main ability and it actually did like a rumbling like earth attack. Imagine if you had like the
That sounds cool.
kind of like the Diablo.
And as a Mountain Thane, you can no longer use swords. You can only use maces. Why? Because you're a rumbling Mountain Thane that crushes rocks with your fucking hammer. That sounds dope as hell. Our players have been homeless all this time. Yeah, basically. Yeah, exactly.
3 barbarian leap
Yeah, there you
thing
go, Anku.
where it would create an earthquake under you. Imagine if you
Yes.
had upheaval. Like I
Yeah,
feel like
yeah.
there-
Give me barbarian upheaval as a Mountain Thane. That sounds nuts, and I am all for it.
there's tons of things like that. Thunderclap. Yeah, exactly. Like why not be able to like have like, you know, for example, if you're a Mountain Thane, you
Chaotic, you came here late. We looked at the Dark Ranger spec. That's how, dude. Watch the
could
video when it
only
goes up.
use a hammer maybe. I don't know. I think that stuff would be really cool. And if you do that, you can like call down like a lightning strike. You know how like Captain America did on like Thanos and Endgame? Like,
Yeah.
that'd be
Ooh, base Captain America reference. I agree. The Colossus. You straight up get to bounce your shield between enemies, kind of like a paladin, but it's actually cooler somehow. I don't know how, but let's make it cooler. You know? But yeah, watch this, Corey. You cannot be biased at all. Exactly. Straight up, though. Completely agreed. Hell, that would work for the shaman, you know? Lightning hammers, man. Are you the god of hammers? No, I'm the god of lightning. But your hammer shoots lightning, man. That sounds dope.
fucking awesome.
A cool way of letting me lean into some different things for my.
Well, no, we're
you know, for
speculating.
my
we're giving feedback,
classes,
Chaotic. There's
and
nothing
I
wrong
also
with that, dude.
respect
Thor?
that they're doing it in a
Yeah,
way
I mean,
where
obviously
they're not
Thor.
Saying
Yeah.
it seems
committing
lame because it
to
seems
infinite
lame is
vertical
totally fine.
progression,
Blizzard
of
says they
damage.
want to listen and give
So, I mean,
iterations
for me,
and
overall,
work heavily
yeah,
on this.
This seems
And that'll only happen if we're brutally
reasonable and
honest with our
positive.
opinions.
Because that's what it is.
We're not saying the WoW devs suck and they're incapable. We're not saying that at all. We're saying the WoW devs can do this if they focus on the right things. We don't think they will because they focus too heavily on balancing. That is a totally fair thing to say. I hope they don't. I hope they go crazy with this. I hope they make hero specs truly special. Because I'm going to buy The War Within no matter what, and I'll play it and I'll show you guys what exactly the changes are. But I want it to be really fucking cool because I want it to actually Giga succeed. I want it to be better than Dragonflight. And Dragonflight's gameplay is pretty darn good. But it's not as good as it could be. And I think it can be better. Dude, I want World of Warcraft to be in a world where it can actually succeed against an dynamite looking game like Ashes of Creation. The unnamed Riot MMO looks dope because we have no details about it, right? But I want there to be more epic, fantastic, awesome MMOs that go all fucking out. I want it to be that dope.
in isolation from expectation.
Yes, yes.
The old
It's the
code is
problem
fucked
of-
enough. Yeah, Doc, that's another reason to go for WoW 2. Just straight up start with brand new code, build it from the ground up. WoW 2. Absolutely. Ground up, doing all the coding from the very beginning and everything. Oh, I got you, Chaotic. Yeah, that's totally fair.
Expectation brings dissatisfaction over the quotas. It's like it just it
Dawn
you
Trail?
go,
I don't know what that
would've
means.
Liked class skins.
Is that the new expansion? Totally fair.
You brought class skins to the table. No one ever said class skins.
Yeah.
No one was ever vaguely considering it. But you brought it to the table.
Only Blizzard brought it up, so
Being
everyone responded to
disappointed
it.
is on you. But also,
I think players can be. It's fair for players to be disappointed whenever they think that they're getting one thing and they're
Yes.
not getting it. Like I
Exactly.
would say, yeah, for sure, that's totally fair. And also, like whenever people aren't getting something, then maybe Blizzard should look
I
at
play
why
this-
do people
I-
still. Why is it that everybody?
At the moment, I prefer Classic more. Absolutely, Angrim. Absolutely. Classic Season Discovery is the most refreshing and interesting World of Warcraft has been in ages. But I will say that Dragonflight is a W expansion for World of Warcraft retail as well. I mean, I play them both every so often. Absolutely. But like I do like Classic more. And it's because it's massively less complicated. Yeah, I do like Dragonflight, yes. I think it's W. I think it'd be made even better.
wants this thing. So yeah, I think that people are right to complain about it, but I think that the real problem with WoW is like just on a fundamental level,
Exactly,
the
Andre.
way that the game is designed. Like the game is designed in a way that is built completely around optimization
Yes.
and min-maxing.
Yes.
And that's happened because you have 15 years of optimization and min-maxing.
Yes.
And like in classic WoW, it's not as bad. It's still there, but
That
it's
sounds
not
cool,
as
Hamshank.
pronounced. It's not as important.
There's the reality of if your players are
Totally fair,
disappointed,
chaotic. Totally fair.
then that is your problem to deal with.
I
and
played
that's
very
what developers-
sparingly. I still
Which is
play
really
it,
annoying.
which is the vote
Yes.
and
But it's
confidence
also
for it.
literally true.
But
Like, how
it's
do you
very
do this?
rare.
People say it's like every MMO now. I think that every MMO is always going to be about min-maxing to an extent, but the levels of min-maxing that WoW has
It's
are
crazy.
outside of the game.
Exactly.
And I think it makes the game worse.
Yeah.
So like, this is maybe
FF14 has its own version of min-maxing, I'm sure. However, you don't have to download 35 different fucking add-ons. Straight up.
a really unpopular take, but I wish Blizzard would disable the functionality of every single add-on in every single capacity.
Exactly.
No add-ons.
Yeah.
Period.
We talked about that, yeah.
Literally 0 add-ons. No
Snap
API
gearing?
reading. You can't do that.
I don't know what that means.
Unless, like, you know, for example, you know, you're running some sort of like cheat engine or something like that. Like the whole fixation on like Warcraft. Like, I think that I raided in WoW. I started raiding in really vanilla, but like I
Right.
started like seriously raiding in TBC.
Oh.
And the difference in gameplay after, like, before and after parses became the culture of the game
Yeah.
was night and day.
Yep.
Like back in the day, you would have people that were
Back in the day, before because I played vanilla, I played crazy amounts of raiding in that. I played crazy amounts of raiding in Burning Crusade. I played crazy amounts of raiding in Wrath of the Lich King. And the parsing situation happened in Burning Crusade. And parsing, basically, before parsing, you would play a raid, and if you succeeded in winning in the raid, everyone was happy. That means less deaths, more CC, things like that. And then they added parsing, which is you want the biggest damage number possible, and that's it. And so everyone became obsessed with min-maxing, straight up, nothing but pure DPS. And it sucked a lot of the fun out of the game. Absolutely. I still found my own fun in the game. Totally fine. But it absolutely made a difference. We can't act like it didn't make a difference. Absolutely. And that is as a result of the API usage to create parsing. Completely. A short horror story? No, I mean, there was lots of greatness in it, man. God of Law. There was a lot of great stuff with raiding, man. There was a lot of really cool things about 40 people coming together to have a combined goal of fighting a really, really difficult boss. It was really, really cool. However, it is not without its issues, and even the good times have issues. But it's always important to talk about it, which is why. But yeah, like API being read in creating parsing did create a whole slew of issues, and that's just one example.
really good at doing mechanics, and they were considered the best players in the guild. And now it's all
Yes.
about who's doing the most damage. And this is like just in general,
Yes.
if you're doing a pug or you're doing
See, this is why, like, anytime someone shit talks Asmon, I'm like, no, Asmon's a real one. He understands. He didn't even play till the expansion after me. Like, I started OG beta. I was one of the lucky few who played World of Warcraft in the beta. Like, the actual beta. But he's still a real one. He understands the issue at its core completely.
something like that, people always cared about damage, but
Yeah. It was
like,
it was
that
like, do you
wasn't
have
the
enough damage
end
to
all
beat
and
the
be all.
boss?
In the same way that like now, like I haven't played in like the last like year, like super seriously, but whenever I played before then, I'm assuming it's probably about the same
Time-gated?
now.
Fair.
People are playing for parses more than they're
Like,
playing
how do you
to
mean?
kill the boss.
Extremely good communication and doing the right thing at all times, which is kind of the problem.
So let's take a look at Dark Ranger then.
Actually,
Dark.
just before you say that, actually, like that's a good point.
Oh,
Pablo.
God.
It takes away from the chance of us getting class skins, like a Battle for Gilneas. Yeah, it's like this. This is now
Fair. That's a good point.
there is
I don't know what
overlap
they mean
between
here.
this and class skins, which now means because this has happened, we're
Just get
substantially less
both.
likely to get class
It
skins.
shouldn't be that
Almost
complicated, Blizzard.
completely unlikely to get them because you're not going to get a Dark Ranger skin that changes all your stuff to Dark Ranger if you've got a Dark Ranger ability called Black Arrow. That's
Right.
And that's one of the other problems where it's still like class skins were never even brought to the table as like a possibility ever. But it's just we've wanted it, expected it so long.
Yeah, it's just some people have made.
Oh, you get all the
really
DLCs
cool
and no
looking,
I got you.
bits of
Yeah,
art and
totally
put
fair.
them in Reddit, and everyone's like, "Oh, look at that!" And then all the artists at Blizzard are probably
Yeah, being
thought, "Oh,
being able to play the entirety of what is it like all of the base FF14 plus like the entire first expansion completely for free is insane, as in insanely good. It's one of the best things about FF14, and it pulls a lot of people into the game. It's one of the absolute craziest good things. First two, whatever. Yeah, there you go. It used to be just one at the time, I thought, but that was a couple of years ago. But like I said it before and I'll say it again. You should be able to play the entirety of World of Warcraft Classic completely for free. Absolutely. You shouldn't need anything to play World of Warcraft Classic. You shouldn't need a WoW sub. You shouldn't need anything. You don't need to buy the game, nothing. I think that would be akin to what F14 does, even on a much smaller level, but at least it's something. Right now, you don't get diddly squat. You get like up to level 20, which is like fucking 20 minutes of the game, it feels like, you know? It's like nothing.
look at that!" And then their producers and team are like, "Yeah, but you know, we sort of
It's
have
not
to
going to
ship the
happen
game."
though. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a slight problem.
It's sad that people are already disappointed about the new expansion.
It
but
is
this
sad,
is kind of
but
what
it's true.
happened with Shadowlands and Covenants.
Yeah.
Is that like Blizzard kind of pushed something in that like players didn't want to have.
And also, Blizzard didn't listen about Covenants. Like, dude, I gave Blizzard feedback about how Covenants were going to be broken. Everyone did. I'm not saying I'm special. I'm saying everyone did. Even me. Because, you know, I was fucking, like, busy at the time as well. But, like, I still did it. Why? Because I cared about the game. And why? Because I wanted it to be cool. But they didn't listen back then. They listened a bit for Dragonflight, which is why Dragonflight is a W. But, man, it was brutal to watch them not listen, and the exact issues everyone foresaw literally fucking happened for Covenants in Shadowlands. And it made everything just worse.
And they were just like, yeah, it doesn't really matter. We're going to do this anyway.
Right.
Like,
That's what we're afraid
your
of.
video? Yeah, I think so too.
Because as the WoW community, we
I'll
were
go ahead
burned by
and,
Blizzard a
give
lot.
like. I don't know why I'm not subscribed to the Bellier Eclipse channel. That's weird. It should be, honestly, break add-ons or the game won't be good anymore. Yeah, I genuinely think add-ons are bad for the game. And I actually...
Well,
I
no,
don't-
Chaotic. What Doc is saying is that if you're a free person using World of Warcraft completely, you can't use the AH. Thus, being a bot or having a bot, not being able to trade or use the AH stops any botting. Because they don't get any good out of it at all. That's what Doc is saying.
don't think that it's a good idea to try to distinguish between good add-ons and bad add-ons.
There's
I
no
think
W
Final
for the
Fantasy
bots there.
14 has got it right.
Right.
Use add-ons, you're banned.
Yeah,
Period.
I agree.
If you want something in the game, then ask
Tell the
for it to be
devs.
in the game. It adds to the toxicity.
And the devs actually add stuff to the game. Like, the devs listen. How many, Hamshank, you play F14 a lot. You're like the F14 aficionado here, buddy. Yeah, but, I mean, I'm talking about for free players, Chaotic. I'm talking about for completely free players. Like, if you want to, you know, take care of the situation, there's ways to do it, Chaotic. That's what we're saying. But, Hamshank, how many things have the devs added to the game that were originally thought of as needed for add-ons or whatever? You can't use add-ons, so they're just like, all right, you know what? We'll just add it to the base game. I bet F14 does that a lot. I think I've heard of it.
What it really does is like, so, like, you go back and, like, you look at this, right? So, basically, the add-ons create a bigger gap between the worst and the best players.
Absolutely agreed.
Because you have the worst players that are down here,
Yep.
and you're never going to get bad players that are new to the game to download add-ons because they're new to the game and they're bad players.
Perfect.
Just by the nature of the fact of what they are means that they're not
Hey, I
going
love
to do this kind
roguelikes,
of
but that
content.
doesn't make for a good MMO, dog.
So
God
the
of War.
difference really should
It
be
makes for a lot of
from,
wasted time and
let's
frustration.
say from here to here, but instead the difference in skill is from here to here.
And
this
Permadeath
is a
still
much
has
bigger
bots,
difference, right? Because you look at the level of awareness that,
Dude, Hardcore WoW still has bots, God of War.
like, let's say this guy has with his
So
UI.
it's not even a fix there.
And this level of awareness is incredible. Like the amount of tools and resources.
The real issue with bots, God of Law, is the fact that Blizzard got rid of like 90% of their QA team that, you know, focused on getting rid of bots. So, shocker, the bots became super rampant. Because they don't kill the bots anymore.
That he has.
It was a
to
giant
make
problem.
himself a better player are just astronaut. Like a good play, like somebody without add-ons would not be able to have this much.
We'll check that out
information.
tomorrow.
They might be able to
Handshake.
keep,
I want to
like,
play a
maybe
game
third
after
of it
this.
in their head. But like that's also taking mental awareness away from what's happening in the game at like a second-to-second level.
Right.
So what ends up happening is that good players keep getting better and bad players stay the same. Because
Yes.
bad players get rotated in and out because they're always new players. So like the skill cap for somebody who's played the game for 10 years, who's continuously iterated and gotten better at the game, well, guess what? Those people are going to continuously get better and better and better, and the new players aren't. And then whenever the content keeps getting designed for these really, really good players.
And the content gets designed for the best of the best of the best. Like you should cut this little graph, and it's not even good player add-ons. It's just like this slice of the good player add-ons is who all pretty much the content is balanced around. Like it's like 1% of this one section over here, which is like none of the player base in terms of population. It's like very, very little of them. Very, very little of them even see it.
Then the bad players aren't going to have anything to do. And this is actually like a really great example is that like Elden Ring is a great example of how From Software didn't make this mistake.
Okay.
Because Elden Ring is not that much harder than Dark Souls 3.
Sure. I agree with that.
It's not like a tremendous, massive skill gap.
Yes.
Yeah, they've got a couple of bosses that are really
Hell,
hard.
I think it's even
Like,
easier
for
than Dark Souls
example,
3.
Malenia. Malenia is very hard.
Right.
But other than that, it's actually quite an easy game in
Right.
a lot of cases, especially if you look for outside resources
And it's the most accessible of the games as well, which is a big thing.
and you use all the tools that are available to you.
Glam. Yeah, exactly.
So why is it that they did that? And a lot of people
Fashion Souls.
criticized Elden Ring, and they said that it's too easy. Well, of course it's too easy for you, Mr. I've done Dark Souls 1 17 times.
Right.
I've beaten Dark Souls 3 9 times. I played Bloodborne 3 times. I've beaten Sekiro. Big fucking surprise. The new game is also easy for you. But the reality is that if you just keep
Chaotic, what do you mean you don't know about that? Fashion is the end game in many different games. It's the end game in World of Warcraft. That's why we have transmog. It's a form of end game. It's not like the end all be all, but it is a thing that is a very popular end game in a lot of games.
upping the ante and making the game harder and harder and harder, you end up alienating just like the average player.
Exactly.
And I think that's what's happened.
You never
I think
pay
that's kind of what
attention?
happened with
That's
Lost
okay.
Ark,
Most
too,
do.
to be honest with you.
It's totally fine if you don't,
And
but most
even
do.
more so, that's what happened with WoW. Because Lost
Exactly,
Ark
God of
just
War.
got harder fights. And also, WoW, a lot of the skill level and like the awareness that people have in the game is artificial.
And guess what? Fucking Lost Ark is a dead game too. For that exact same reason. They only focused on balancing around the 0.001%.
And that's, I think, the biggest problem.
Plus money.
The biggest problem is the fact that the skill level in the game that people have and the level of awareness that they have isn't real. It's artificial.
Right.
It's because they have a lot of add-ons. It's because they have tools that increase their awareness. It's because they have a like an add-on that tells them to move whenever they're supposed to move. So it's not even that like it's like good players are not only good players because they have better awareness, they also have add-ons, and those add-ons act as like a multiplier for
Yeah.
how much better they are than a bad player.
I agree with
good?
that.
Well, I mean, I wish Blizzard would get good and make the game better.
Yes.
Like, it's not about
Bam!
like getting
There
good
you
at
go.
the game. Like, it is only a video game, right? And like being good at the video game doesn't matter, and there's no impact or meaning in it at all. There's no light at the end of the tunnel where all of the time that you've invested into the game is going to matter. It'll never matter. It's just a video game.
Right.
So at the end of the day, the video game should be fun.
Yes.
And it's if the video
it's
game
not
isn't
complicated.
then it doesn't matter if it's hard or not. Because people spent so much time saying, get good. Well, now nobody cares if you're good.
Yeah.
Nobody cares if you're good in Arena. Nobody cares if you're good in Mythic Plus.
Right.
The World First race is popular for a week, and then
everyone forgets about it.
That's it.
And by popular, like popular is a very, very limited term. Like, dude, the World First race for any of these raids or anything like that is like a pittance of what it used to be viewership wise and everything like that. Like, dude, no one's even really watching it. Like, very, very few people are watching it compared.
So that's what happens whenever you spend 15 years telling people to get good.
Right.
Is people just instead play good games.
Yes, everyone swapped to
That's
other
the
games.
Issue.
That's exactly what I fucking
happened
did.
with WoW. They get good games. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Some people get paid because they're good too. Yeah, but they get paid a lot less than they would if there was a lot of people that cared about being good. The problem is that nobody cares about the quality of the game.
Yeah.
And nobody cares about the skill in the game. Like, I think that you guys don't really, and you see this whenever we do like a link the video. Yeah, I'll link it again. Whenever we do a tournament.
This was a fun video to
there's
react to,
guys
guys.
like Zico
I'm not gonna lie,
that
I
are
like
so
talking about
good
this.
That
Hope you
people
guys like
don't
the
even know
discussion.
how good they are. Like, it's literally like, oh, what's
I have
their
no
power
idea who these people
level?
are.
We don't even know.
Zero idea
That's
who
how
this
good
is.
they are. But that skill level isn't appreciated in like a wider gaming community because the game hasn't fostered a casual audience to respect it.
I'll agree with that, yeah.
And it's sad.
And you compare that to League of Legends, and like League of Legends has had their own issues with viewership numbers and stuff, but this is the most popular this year LCS has been in like the past 4 years or whatever. And it's because the game is and always has been at some level, even at the low ranks and everything like that, in some level, accessible. You can at least understand what is going on in the fucking game. You can have fun with it. Everyone can play the game at some level.
I think that's really the saddest thing about all of it is that like you have people that have invested like Peekaboo, like Venruki, Zico, Sea-Doo.
It's
like,
so
these
sad.
are
I don't know
people
who
are,
any of these people are.
like, as I said, they're so good at the game. Mez, they're so good at the game, you don't even know how good they are. And these are only just PvP players, right? I mean, there's like Raiders, of course, that are the same way.
Oh, dude.
And,
Arena has its own slew of issues. Very similar, though.
Yeah, like Dorky, like he's fucking insane. Max is really good at the game, right? I mean, he's in the top guild. He's a raid leader of top guild. Like, he's so good that people don't even know how good he is. Yummy, yeah, exactly.
Right.
Trill, 100%. Sony,
sure.
Yeah, a lot of these guys are insane, and the culture around gaming right now doesn't reward them for.
Sure, I feel like that's any game though, Hamshank, right?
For that level of skill. And it's sad. And this is the problem, right?
Like, consequences are important in any game.
Why would you want to play with somebody who's intentionally handicapping themselves? If add-ons make you better at the game and give you more awareness, why would you want to play with a person who is refusing to use something that makes them better at the game? It's the same reason why
he's talking about it's fostered a culture of this. And it's because of the API, because of add-on use.
The truth is that for everybody else, like, no, why would I bring somebody who's bad? Like, if I see somebody who's not putting in their effort, I don't want to ever give that person, like, I feel like if you go into a...
But keep in mind, by the time you've gotten to that point, Chaotic, where, like, what most people do is just do Fashion Souls or whatever at the end, at that point, you've already played through, like, 400 hours of the game, at least, if not more, to do all of the expansions, to do all the storylines, to do all the quests, to do all the really cool shit as well. So you've still gotten your money's worth. So, like, no game is made to be played forever. It's just how, like, a lot of people find their, like, enjoyment hour after hour after hour. And it's totally fine. But, like, even beyond that, you still have, like, at least, 400 odd hours of, like, a fantastic game just straight up. That's the thing.
Raid, and you are allowing some people to put in partial effort and other people not to put in partial effort, well, then you create a reward structure around putting in partial effort, and the people that are putting in full effort leave. So that's what happens.
That's what I did. I fucking left.
Discriminate on rats. I discriminate on anybody that doesn't put in, like, if you're not enchanting your gear, if you're not performing well. If I know you, obviously I'm going to give you special treatment because that's just the way it is.
And why is that? Because he didn't circle back to the point, but because DPS matters so much. Why? Because of damage meters.
But otherwise, no. I absolutely.
If not, you can
I
win the
absolutely
run,
discriminate.
or you
like
can't.
if somebody is
That's it.
not like fully ready,
You
or
succeed
they're
or you
not like
don't.
enchanted, or I don't feel like they're prepared, then yeah, fuck them. Fuck them. That's it. Conditions players to play around someone with a good streak more than someone with consistency around objectives. Yeah, I mean, maybe. Unprepared people need to go. Yeah, why would you play with somebody who's unprepared? It's kind of common sense whenever you think about it. They waste people's time. Yeah, exactly.
He's kind of like displaying
Of
what
course you
this type of
discriminate,
attitude
they're wasting
is.
your time. Yeah, that's just how it is. But anyway, yeah, I mean, I just think WoW, like, it's just
It's too much.
there's just so much problems in the game, and there's so much to the game.
Yeah.
It's too much, man. It's just simply too much.
Purge it all with holy fire, my friends. No, I'm kidding.